Greetings, heavy metalheads and hardcore kids. Welcome to Metal to the Core, a podcast about deathcore, metalcore, mathcore, whatever the hell else we feel like talking about today. Happy Metal Monday, guys. I'm your host, Kevin to the Core. Here with me is my co-host, Flexit Felix.
Felix to the Core is my new name now.
I like Felix Flexes.
Felix Flexes or Flex at Felix?
I like Flex at Felix. That's how I have you on my
Let's go with
contract.
Flex at Felix. So we're still in the debate here, guys. So just bear with us. We're going to go for Flex at Felix.
I like it. Well, hit us up.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your hot take.
Rate and review the podcast and let us know what should we call Felix.
Very important decision here, guys.
But again, happy Metal Monday, guys. Felix, what the hell did you do this week?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Shit.
I saw you post something that you went mountain biking.
Yeah, no, I got a new bike. So that was
exciting.
exciting. So I went to a park down here and we went mountain biking, but the weather's been shit.
Yeah, it's been raining every
Florida.
fucking day.
So it was more along the lines of I got a new bike, got home, wanted to ride it, didn't ride it, and then yesterday was able to I had to travel up north an hour just to avoid the rain, ride it, and then as we were mounting the bikes
back up.
like
North Miami Beach?
No, we went to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
Yeah. So as we finished, and we were mounting the bikes up back in the car, it started pouring.
Fuck.
So when it's meant to be,
but at least it was a good time.
Yeah, it's a good little Sunday, kind of hanging there. What about you?
Errands, unfortunately.
Yeah. Even the heaviest of metalheads have to run errands.
And it's funny, like people think it's like, oh, is it like wedding errands? It's like, no, just errands.
It's fucking life
I don't know
errands.
how the fuck she does it. She just comes up with shit that I have to do.
The list, the honey-do list.
Yeah.
We can't avoid it, man. Shit is inevitable.
But if you guys heard in the beginning, we were playing the band submitted of their unsigned music. The band was from Maryland.
Shout out Maryland.
Hagerstown?
Hagerstown? Well, I don't know.
Hagerstown, Maryland.
I will tell you a little bit about Maryland. I lived there for about a year. Shout out to Maryland. I lived in Gaithersburg. So all the Bethesda boys out there. I know Periphia is also from Bethesda. So big shout out to the big 301 over there. Awesome job.
I love it. Now we're getting a whole new demographic.
Oh, yeah. So this was from the band Enduring
Reverie.
What'd you think, Kevin?
It's definitely not for me because, we've talked about on the podcast what I'm into, especially metalcore, mathcore, hardcore, and other shit and stuff like that. Melodic death metal, deathcore itself, which we'll get into with our choices or whatever. Enduring Reverie sounds like this like cool experimenty, almost doomy black metal band, especially the vocals coming off to me as almost black metal. But then those really strange experimental like acoustic guitars really balance out the drony guitars, which I didn't even mention the song. So the song you guys would have heard by now that we're talking about it is Lovely Day off their album Through the Keyhole, by Enduring Reverie. And not for me. No one here to judge. The only thing I will judge, again, I'm not judging because you and I are not the demographic.
Right, that's not.
We don't like the doom metal, that black metal vocals and stuff like that. The only thing I will criticize is, guys, come on, man. Like it's 2009. I see the release of this album was like 2014.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, like one, come up with new shit. Like, get your fans new material, and two, record like in a better space.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, dude, there's a lot that goes into it. I can speak personally from being in multiple bands in it, and I'm a musician by trade too. Well, maybe not by trade, by hobby. But man, it's sometimes there are resources out there that we have now that probably weren't available in 2014. So you might want to take a look at that.
Really, in just 5 years?
Just 5 years, dude. You have no idea. Get good drums, as I mentioned in one of our earlier podcasts.
Yeah, that thing is
They're
only
doing
2 years old.
Amazing work. There are different, just even using Pro Tools or GarageBand, some of the plugins that you use nowadays, you don't even need an amplifier for it. So it's just a matter of mixing everything together and doing a great job at it. One thing that I will say, you might just want to be mindful of how it's coming across through the speakers. That's the best way that I could describe it. You don't want to have too much sound too soon. That's it's a little overwhelming for some of our listeners because you want to pick out as a enthusiast of this kind of music. You want to be able to identify and relate to and really take a step back and see what is what you don't want to hide that from your audience. So I would suggest that if you are going to start with a couple guitars, don't overkill it with the reverb.
Yeah, because then you sound drony.
You sound very drony. I can tell you from experience the overdrive and the just general distortion was a little heavy on some songs that I would have just suggested to clear up. But again, this is all constructive criticism. The big point is that you guys are making music and that you have it out there, and we appreciate that. But if we can throw in our 2 cents, Kevin, I think that it could be mixed a little better. And
that's my main concern.
Yeah, and I would definitely advise you all to look at a few resources and tools, and man, hell, even some YouTube tutorials. There are, and I mean this in the best way possible, there are 12-year-olds that are now producing amazing things in their mother's basement, and just by themselves, only by the help of YouTube. So what you can do nowadays is really ridiculous. So I recommend you guys look through some of that stuff and then go from there. What do you think, Kevin? Anything else?
No, legit. No, that's exactly my main concern is always going to be mixing and the production and the quality of how it sounds, or whether I'm a fan of the music or not. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this music, and I know neither are you. Mm-hmm. But if you clear this up and you clean this up and you give your fans new material, they could be the next Def Heaven.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, a band I'm not a fan of. Mm-hmm. But fuck, like their music is mixed well. It sounds good.
And that's a sweet spot, man. I think that's where you get it, because if something, you don't have to be music critics to pick out what's good and what isn't. It just kind of goes into your hardwiring if you like music. So if something is really well produced and well mixed, then it's gonna relate. It's gonna translate to people more so than if something just sounds too overpowering and just too drony.
But not only that, just sounding. But if you sound bad, it comes off bad for you in the band.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. So you want to put your best foot forward when you're, especially in the intros. You guys, for this band specifically, they had some pretty good intros that if they would have just mixed it a little better in some areas, it would have led to a really good impression of the
because the musicianship is there. The chord progression is cool.
Yeah.
And again, the vocals, the black metal vocals, not my style. But man, if he cleaned it up, he would have sounded really fucking cool.
Yeah, I think that's the overall message here that we're trying to say. If you're gonna jingle, a lot of things that I say to Kevin, if you're gonna jingle all the way. Spend some time looking at some stuff. Maybe spend an extra money or two, get some professionals to look at it, and go from there. And then you word. That's what I would suggest.
There you have Enduring Reverie from Hagerstown, Maryland.
Shout out, Maryland.
Again, the album was Through the Keyhole. The song was Lovely Day off the album Through the Keyhole. Available on their Bandcamp if you want to check them out. It's the name your price. If you're not familiar with it, you could buy unsigned band music or even signed music on Bandcamp. I love Bandcamp. That's how I discovered a ton of fucking bands. Specifically mathcore.
Yeah.
Since mathcore is not that widely marketed, I find a lot of shit on Bandcamp there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate all the submissions, so keep them coming. We're more than happy to review them and listen to them. So we definitely encourage you all to send it over to us so we can take a look.
Yeah, definitely. So then now, what we do here on Metal to the Core, we always do our picks of the week. Yes, we have finally agreed that we will probably move to weekly. So we're going to try and keep this every Metal Monday. We're going to keep calling it that. So if you get annoyed, too bad.
Too bad. Drop a comment in the notification section.
Right, give us a 1 star. Maybe it's an upside down star, and then tell us.
Whichever way it goes. But we are here for Metal Monday, Manic Monday, and that's the way it's going to go. At least
we're going to do our picks, something heavy, something soft, a wild card, and then we're going to move into our album review of the week. Is going to be Chun's self-titled album. But first, our picks. Felix flexes. I'm going to keep trying different nicknames. Let's see which one sticks. What is your chugs of choice this week?
My chug of choice. Can we go back to me?
Really? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I want you to go first.
Okay, I want to go first, but I kind of wanted to have cheated and gone to something that released a little closer, but I didn't want to do that. I want to showcase stuff that came out maybe a little bit more than just a week ago or whatnot, something that we never got around to in a previous episode or any other previous episode, but a band I really like. I believe they're from Australia. Let me double check that as I talk about them. But the band is Gravemind.
Gravemind.
Their new single is Volgin, Volgin,
Vol'jin? All right.
Volgin, Volgin,
Okay. All right.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But when they first hit the scene, they were technical deathcore.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking awesome. And I really dug them a lot. He was just trying to make sure that I am correct, that they are from, and of course, as they say here, Australia. Yes, Melbourne.
Shout out Melbourne, boys down under.
Melbourne core. So many bands are coming up from down under.
This is going to be like the third one that we talk
For
about
real,
from
it's
Australia.
true.
We're starting to see a trend here. This is good news, man.
It's true. But Gravemind, again, the single is Vol'jin. That's my metal choice. But now to describe, so they started off very deathcore when they first came about. They started moving towards a bit of a more technical metalcore, which I still dig. You know, I can still jiggy with that shit. This song is so bouncy.
Yeah.
It gets me pumped. If I'm in the car, I'm speeding.
Watch out for this guy.
and then we've always been on this podcast such advocates, you know, at the top of this episode, advocates on good sound mixing and good quality sound. They sound so tight. The production is beautiful. And not that like the music is beautiful or it's not. Those jugs chug hard.
Yeah.
That the vocals are crisp. His screams and growls and gutturals and everything works so much for me. And I love the technicality of the guitar playing when the chord progression to the chorus. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, bro. It's like not face melting. It makes me want to doodle with them.
Yeah, you know, it makes your fingers go.
Yeah, it makes my fingers go. Yeah, man. And I'm not even a guitarist, and I just find it such a fun new song from them, and I'm looking forward to a new hit from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, like I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Vol'jin?
But hey, dealer's choice. You know, I think if we're listening to it, if you want to, I say Vol'jin, but hey. Yeah.
Did you check it out, Felix?
I haven't checked it out, but I will segue. This is a good segue into my check of choice, which I want to talk about Northlane for a second.
Bro, please.
Wow. So I checked out their new song, Talking Heads, and it's nothing short of what you would expect from it. It's amazing, and I like the build up for a lot of the things that they do, you know? So you have just like this really well put together song that's broken down in just the right places.
Wait, another Australian band.
Another Australian? Is that where they're from? Jesus, man. I think we got to move there, dude. We got to move to Melbourne. What are we doing? Yeah. You know? This is where the good music is at, apparently.
I want to see where exactly in Australia they're from.
But while you check that out, Kevin, this song, they're from Sydney, not too far away, but wow, you know, they just really hit it out of the park. And I've heard a lot of the stuff from previous albums before, and it doesn't surprise me because this is all up in their lane, no pun intended. You know, I had to do it, but man, it was one of those songs that lead to. I can only imagine what else they have waiting for their fans in the studio. They haven't shown up because this is the first song of what I'm assuming will be a new release. Yeah,
Alien. I think Alien is this Friday.
Wow. I think you might be right.
So if it's really this good, I don't know. Are you done? So I can say my thoughts.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. So Northlane, as we both know, started off as like a very gent heavy metalcore band.
Super.
With a previous singer that did this like almost like a rapping-esque type of style,
man.
Which was still cool. They were in that vein of like Volumes, early Volumes, not now. And once they got this new singer, he went this almost like screamo route as the music itself. The musicians matured to this almost like alternative metalcore, which was really cool, specifically Mesmer.
Yeah.
I loved that fucking album.
That was a good album.
They almost did like a 180 like how Contortionist did. With Mike Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly. And a 180 to the good.
Yeah.
You know, in a good route.
Experimenting in ways that probably alienated fans. Probably, you know why the new album is going to be called Alien.
Right. Well, hopefully that's maybe what they're
But it's cool how like the last single and then now this one, Talking Heads, they've kind of reincorporated again heavier sounds.
Yeah.
The singer's screaming. It sounds good. It's clear. It's comprehensive. But his singing is still really good. The melodicness is it's still there. And then that's why even in our doc that we shared for all the singles and albums that come out, I have them labeled as like alternative prog metalcore, because now they've become this
It's hard to pinpoint.
this
Hard to
otherworldly
yeah, man.
metalcore that I would put as what their album says. This like alien.
Yeah, and
I don't even know.
You know
what?
When this might just be me talking shit, but when I see that and I try to, for me, it's almost like a thrill to not be able to pinpoint a genre to a band.
Yeah.
Because that's how good they are. You know what I mean? And I like that because think of it like a potluck. If you're bringing a bunch of these other things to the table, then you have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I want to jump into a comment that really stood out to me from YouTube. And it kind of describes this. I don't want to say the whole song is, the whole description is perfect, but it's as close to perfect as I could think of. And it's, the intro reminds this user, and I agree, to Nookie from Limp Bizkit. And I get it. Maybe not specific, but I get where this guy's coming from, and I appreciate the comment. But the verse pre-chorus reminds him of Korn. I see that in a way, but there I want to disagree a little bit. I don't hear Korn. I just hear. It's hard. I hear them.
Mm-hmm.
I hear them doing what they know how to do.
I get the Korn thing is that overproduce effect on the vocals in some pre-choruses, which I don't get why bands are doing that now.
I don't know if that, to me, I think it might be one of those things that it helps them push what the chorus is going to sound like, so it helps the drive of the chorus kind of almost come to fruition, and then boom, chorus. So maybe it has something to do with that. But
as long as there's no rapping to it, because I've heard the effect done with like rapping, and it just sounds bad.
It's because rapping doesn't give the same effect as that wholesome type or holistic type of vocals powering through the speakers. Rap, you can only be so melodic when you rap.
Power. I want to emphasize that the band has brought back where they have experimented now with this like alternative melodies and these cool chord progressions and strange transitions. They've now brought back the power of they're heavy but still good musicianship.
Yeah, and very heavy emphasis.
Bro, there's a badass breakdown towards the end of this.
Yes,
that is so slow and chuggy.
I like that. It almost gives me chills. Like, it makes the hairs on my neck stand up. But the bridge reminds me of Meshuggah a little bit. Yeah, it has that, and I like that. Because Meshuggah is one of those iconic bands that were way before the time, if you ask me. And it's nice to kind of get that vibe from a lot of the bands that we see nowadays, because it's so applicable to a lot of the music that we listen to, because it's nothing crazy. It's just a bunch of open notes. But I think the important thing is the precision, knowing where to put them that works, and it doesn't have to go ruin the rest of the song. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where you defer amateurs from the pros there, because technically you can make one song that's just open string, but is it good? Probably not. Meshuggah did it, and they're amazing. Meshuggah. It's just about where you put your things and how you make it work. But anyway, that's my chug of choice. North Lane, Talking Heads. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, off the upcoming new album Alien, which I believe is due out this Friday.
Yeah, and Alien, it's pretty cool. They spell it A1. L-I-E-N.
Really? That's what they're doing?
That's how, yeah.
I didn't know that.
A1EN.
Get the fuck.
I'm not going to use that hashtag.
It's funny because, again, we just recorded last Thursday, so we are kind of like on a shortage of material that we want to talk about. Right. There's plenty of shit that came out, but not a lot that's of notes that we both want to talk about or that spark a conversation necessarily. I was going to say Talking Heads by North Lane was my melody at the moment because of the melody in the chorus.
It's good melody. It's really good melody, and I hate to see your thunder, but it was really good melody.
So since that would be mine, I would say I would have to take another one. It has to be another band that I also really like, Time to Evaluate It.
God damn it, I was going to choose that one.
Well, okay, that would be both of ours.
Let's run through it.
You took mine, so I'm taking yours, but we'll both talk about it. So the song is Vibrant.
Yes.
This is their first new single in a while since they released it, since their first debut that I was a huge fan of. So this is another one that super strange to boggle down into some kind of category, like to box in. So, Time Evaluator is, I want to describe them like this alternative post-hardcore radio rock band with these sweeping melodies, almost operatic vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they have a new singer. So as soon as that was announced, I was like, "Oh fuck, no!" Because then they had piano.
Right.
They had a song that started piano, and it sounded like a beautiful pop ballad.
Yeah.
And then it crescendoed into this like crazy, sweeping, melodic post-hardcore, heavy metalcore song, and it was beautiful. It was still kept the melody. It was still structured, soft esque. Yeah. So then now this song, Vibrant, showcasing the new singer, I'm completely at ease.
Yeah.
The dude has chops. He's got
really good chops.
Crazy pipes. So what he brings different from the previous singer is he has a different range. I'm not going to say better, but it's a different
It's
range.
on a different scale of the spectrum.
Yeah, where
that's
he
fine.
Could get lower than the other guy. The other guy was very operatic.
Yeah.
This guy is very much more melodic rock, like more melodic metal.
Right.
So it complements the band. Again, not better, but differently. And the band plays differently for him.
Yeah, and you know what? I like that.
Yeah.
I like that they took that lead, and it doesn't always have to be this way with bands, but it's moments like that, or just subtle differences between the original setup, that when you play to complement one particular person or one particular sound and it works, then you see something come together that's so beautiful and it's so well appreciated by all the people in the fan base, So my thing, and I love this sound, I love it so much. I almost compare it to the second to last album from Tesseract, almost a little bit.
Okay.
Like in those sudden.
Was that the one with Elliot Coleman?
No. Second to last.
So Altered States.
Altered States, yeah.
That was with Nathan?
That was, their latest singer.
Nate.
Yeah, Nate.
No, they brought back Daniel Tompkins.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's with Nate. It's with Nate. Yeah.
So it's the white cover.
Yeah, exactly. The white color with like the
Altered States. Yeah,
Altered States.
That's
so that I hear this song, the song Vibrant, and I get that sound a little bit, and I listen to that song through and through. I mean, to that album through and through. My fiance loves it too, but when I hear this, Time to Evaluate it, and I've heard their previous stuff before, and I really dig it. I dig their sound. I think what this new singer has to offer, though, is not only what you were mentioning, Kevin, the kind of the band really went around him and made him sound even better.
Yeah. It's like they structured to his vocal style.
Pop, but of course, good bands do that.
Yeah.
Good bands do that because he's a frontman for a reason.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like they knew. It's like, hey, we get it. You're the new guy, but you're the
guy.
Face.
You're the fucking guy. Let's build you up. You're the face of the band. But what I really like is his distorted vocals. When you hear it, I mean, and his low screams and his growls are great, but the distorted vocals when he's on the high pitches is what gets me. Yeah. It brings me home. Gives me that Architects type of vibe. Not so much the yelling, but just that huge distortion towards the end that you can really, it carries through the stress of the point that he's trying to make. You know who does that a lot? The singer from Dance Gavin Dance, Tillian, yeah. He does that a lot, and to his credit, does it very well, where he just goes really, really, really high.
Yeah.
And at the end of whatever he's trying to say or sing, he just distorts it, and it just makes everything like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
And then the music crescendos until like either a breakdown or some kind of like just cool little, even like a cool little jazzy section.
And that's another band which, obviously we'll get into it when they release anything else, but that's another band that hoists up their lead singer and makes it work for them.
Yeah.
But also saying that band has so much going on that it's just a matter of finding sections where each of them shine, and they really like kind of just
because it's not to detract too much from Time Evaluator, but Dance Gavin Dance know that they are a bunch of musicians that are talented musicians and that they are so good in their own right.
They are, dude. They are. Yeah, man. The amazing drumming, awesome, really good basses, and we saw them. Kevin and I saw them live recently, and like as I mentioned, I'm a bassist. So whenever I see a Dingwall bass, and any bassist listening out there can definitely relate. Whenever you see a Dingwall bass, you know that guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
And that the bassist had it. What's this guy's name from Periphery? Nolly Get Good. He uses Dingwall instruments. So whenever you see that, man, you're in for a show. But yeah, anyway, that's our choice there. Time the Evaluator. Kevin, any other thoughts?
From Germany.
From Germany?
Fucking man.
Guten Tag, bro.
Yeah.
We're all over the place, man.
Yeah.
All over the map. That's how I like it. You know how many good things came from Germany?
But
beer, Benz.
But as a fan, I have to say, like, I'm so relieved that it sounded good. But I was not ready for it to be this fucking good.
Dude, it's a showstopper, man.
Yeah.
It's a showstopper. I see that being one of the good songs that you definitely want to look out for when you're gonna see them live. That's gonna be a show, man.
Yeah. I can't wait for another single so we could judge whether or not, if a new album's on the horizon or tour or whatever the hell. And hopefully we review it like an album. If it's this good, I would love to review the album in the future. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
So I guess I stole your melody.
Yeah, you stole my melody, man.
So then just tell me what's your wild card.
Are you going to give it back? My wild card.
Or do you have another melody to throw out?
Nah.
Yeah, so
we're
just
good.
wild card.
So wild card. Let's see. Hopefully we get the same one. Nah, that'd be dope. My wild card is Thy Art Is Murder.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's not the same as mine.
Okay, cool.
Good. That's awesome.
But that's
my
my shit, and that's why I wanted to.
No, I'm surprised because you're not the big deathcore fan.
I'm not, dude. I'm not. And when we were talking about them so much on the last episode, that it kind of wanted me to think that and I had been flirting with them a little bit. I've been looking at it. I've heard a couple of songs, and I dig
CJ McMahon flirts back.
He fucking does, man. Be careful. He'll get you. But it got me thinking, like, all right, there might be something here that I'm missing out on. Let me give it let me check it out. And I didn't even know they had something coming up. Boom, brand new song, Death Squad Anthem. Of course, fucking brutal as shit,
bro. And it's an assault to the ear.
Yes, man, and I love it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I put on my headphones and I was just banging away. But this band is so good, man.
Yeah.
This band is so good, and like Kevin said, I'm not into the genre. I don't love it. I don't dig it. We all have our thing that we like. I don't love it, but and this goes back to my point that I always like to bring home. When something is good, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're into. I don't care what you like. When something is this fucking good, you'll listen to it, man, because it's good.
Yeah.
It's just fucking good. So that was
they're showcasing why they are the ones that everyone compares every deathcore band to. It's because they're the shit at it.
They're the shit, bro. When you're that good, you're gonna have people. And we talked about Meshuggah earlier.
Yeah.
Meshuggah was good at what they do, and they've inspired millions. Thy Art Is Murder is good at what they do, and they will keep on inspiring millions. And I'm glad because if people even get a hint inspired, and just I see the kind of the alignment between any other band and Thy Art Is Murder, that's good for me because I love them, but it's also good for the genre because it's going to keep on going. It's going to keep on going strong. Yeah. So I encourage it. I think this is great. I'm
surprised you brought it up because I've talked about Thy Art, I think, every episode so far.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned them.
And that's why when you single, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it die.
Simmer.
Yeah, let it simmer. Exactly, that's the word. Because I was just like, it took me by storm. Of course, I played it early in the gym, and it destroyed my back once again. I don't know what's with Thy Art Is Murder on back day, but they keep getting me on back day. And I was like, okay, I don't want to talk about it because I'm just going to gloat about it. I'm going to have no plans with it.
Right.
So as I let it sit, and I'm glad you talked about it first, I love it. It's an assault. It's Thy Art Is Murder. But that's also to its fault. It's just another Thy Art Is Murder song.
I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah. And especially that I've been going back and listening. I use Spotify. So I've been listening to all their highly, listened songs. And, that was one of the things that drew me back a little bit when I was trying to get into them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That it's very hard to differentiate, other songs from other songs. And your earbuds could only take so much.
Right. Or your own head.
Yeah. You'll just go crazy with it.
Because CJ, the singer, CJ McMahon, did not sing. He did not used to sing how he sings now.
Yeah.
They sounded like an even more generic, typical cookie cutter deathcore band.
Right. Exactly. But
it's when they started to I think the album was Hate, where they really started to change.
Yeah.
With I Am Hell and that single off that album. Where they got very interesting was Holy War. Holy War is when they got doomy, a little bit more of this like grim, eerie death metal vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But where I loved that album, it was once again to the fault where they almost dove into that atmospheric, doomy death metal vibe too much. Where it's just like, oh, okay, like the whole album sounded like that vibe.
Yeah.
So then after that, it's like, okay, where do you go from there? So they went back to crushing deathcore. CJ left. They continued that crushing deathcore vibe. CJ came back, and people are like, "Oh, here comes the doominess again." And he's like, "Nah, son, I'm here to fuck shit up. I'm angry at the world." And I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember what was the song that he came back to. It wasn't No Absolution because that was.
Was it? No, I think it was. Nah, I don't know. Man.
It might be No Absolution. Fuck, but whatever.
Yeah.
But then the album they came out with I believe is Dear Desolation.
Uh-huh.
Right, that album with the lamb on it.
Yeah, Dear Perception. Wait.
It's the last album.
Yeah, Dear Desolation. That's the one that I like the most.
Dude, that one brought what Holy War, what they did on Holy War with that eerie death metal vibe, but they went back to the roots of nope, we are gonna assault your fucking ears. But with CJ McMahon back and a better singer, bro, they brought it to town, man. That was one of my favorite releases of that year.
I think. Oh yeah,
yeah. So then now to hear this new single and then I think they had another single before.
Well, I mean, we'll confirm.
Yeah, because they're showcasing a new album.
Yeah, they had the Death Perception last year.
No, Death Perception was from that.
Okay. So I think and Human Target.
Human Target tore me to fucking shreds when that came out.
I haven't heard that one.
So when it was a new song, I was like, okay, I thought it was gonna be the eerie one, the grim one.
Right.
No, man, another assault to my fucking ears. I was like, yo, like this is relentless. So again, I was pleasantly surprised. I love it. I'm a big Die Artist Murder fan, but it's one of those. I'm like, okay, like give me something else. Like you know, you and I, we're not getting any younger. We want different shit. We want experimentation.
And I think that could be to our fault, you know, and maybe less of theirs.
Yeah, because it's just on our expectations.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's up to the listener, in my opinion, to really, you know, if you want something from a band, you should know more or less, and I'm not saying this to be in every single case, but you should know more or less what you're expecting. I think it's a plus when you don't get it, either good or bad. And I think it's a plus because that shows that the band is maturing or at least trying to go a different way, you know, and I think that's good. There's some benefit to it. But when you pop in a new album and you hear, you know, this is from a well-known band and it's something different and it's different for the better and it's a different direction, that kind of, you know, that there's a sense of nirvana, almost a sense of peace. Is like,
but it's also a sense of pride.
Because
the band
you followed them, like, and you've been through it as a listener. You've been through it all, and you progressed through that stage, and you know the members, and you're like,
well, something that you and I find a lot. It's funny that we agree on it so often. Is like when a band is on like their 5th, 6th, or 8th fucking album, and we're like, oh, I hear vague reminiscence of like the 3rd album, the 1st album, the 4th album, whatever. And you and I were like, we'll critique it to no end. And I love that. I love when it sparks this kind of conversation. But again, like I am coming as a fan from Die Hard. This song just feels like it's another Die Hard's murder song.
Yeah. No,
it's
I
cool.
See it,
it kicks my ass. It's awesome. It's exactly what I expected. But then to a fault of it's exactly what I expected.
Right. So there, you know, and I think at that point you just gotta love it or you gotta love it, you know, because the song is all things being equal, the song is fucking amazing. Yeah. You know, and it's exactly what you expect from Die Hard. But, you know, it was one of those, especially for me as a new listener almost to this band, I appreciated the fact that it was hard as fuck. Yeah. Because I went into looking for something that was hard as fuck.
That's where you go to them
That's
for.
where you go to them for. I don't go to them for a melody. I don't go to them while I'm driving because I'll go through everything. You know, but I'm going for them before I want that. Now I want something else. I'll put on some DMX and I'll fuck shit up. You know?
You want to hear something funny about them? Australia.
God damn it, dude. Jesus Christ.
Fucking wallabies, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Shout out to our boys down under. You know, we got a lot of we got to visit. We got to do a live podcast from Australia and get all these bands to sit down with us and just talk shit for 5 hours and see just fucking hang out.
Hopefully they don't bring some ruse to attack us.
They might. I heard that shit is popular over there and some boomerangs.
The goddamn ruse.
The fucking ruse, man.
All right, so that was your wild card.
Yeah. So what about you?
So
Kevin?
my wild card. Hopefully he's not another Australian band. No gripes with you guys. All right, this is really difficult for me to decide for my wild card. I want to save one for later, but I have to talk about it now. It has to be Make Them Suffer.
I had a feeling you were going to go that route, dude.
I have to, man, and I'm pretty sure. Oh my god, another Australian band.
Gee, bro, that's it, dude. I think
from Perth.
Wow. You know, I think we got to do something about this Australian stuff, man. I think next podcast I'm going to come in with an Australian getup. I'm straight up. I'm going to have the safari outfit. I'll be the prime minister. Jesus Christ. I say I come in with like a boomerang, a fucking safari outfit. You know, just having some fish and a surfboard.
I'll wear my Rocco's Modern Life shirt.
Oh my god, yes, dude.
Because that's the closest thing I could think of. That's just a wallaby.
I don't know. And what koalas are a thing over there too, dude. I'm sorry. We're American.
Dangerous.
We're ignorant as fuck, dude.
Australia is so dangerous. Even their metal is.
Yeah, bro. They're metal, and I think metal is a gateway into how the society is. If you ever go to Japan, fucking be ready for Crystal Lake because you'll be killing it.
Wait, Crystal Lake is the Japanese band.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're
crossing
because we're international, Kevin. Yeah. The core of the earth is metal, and that's where we're standing on. Live from the podcast at the core of the earth, fucking metal to the core. That's where we're at, baby. All right. So Make Them Suffer.
So the song by Make Them Suffer, that's my wild card, is Hollow Heart.
Fuck yes.
And it's funny how I had already listened to it relentlessly before you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I didn't even bother replying because I'm like, I'm already going to talk about this on the
podcast. Tune in, bro.
So again, from Australia, I've seen them live.
Yeah. And
they're fucking incredible live.
Shit.
Okay, so then now what's funny about them, another one that started off very deathcore, but with this eerie piano vibe that they have this cool ass chick playing the piano, and she does the backing vocals sometimes in some song. So I think that's what makes them stick out since their last album. Oh my god, something World. I think it's Worlds Apart. Okay. That album is fucking incredible, Felix. You would love it.
Yeah,
because it's these sweepy melodies with piano, symphonic, dark metalcore. So you would really like it. And then this guy's vocals, the singer. He's another one that's improved and matured so much that, dude, that dude's got pipes. I didn't think he was going to be able to replicate this live, and he fucking does.
Oh, yeah?
He brings it like there's no tomorrow.
That's good.
So, Hollow Heart by Make Them Suffer, I went in expecting a continuation of Hollow Heart. Oh, goddamn it, I'm sorry. A continuation of the last album, Worlds Apart. Mm-hmm. And then they had this song after that called 27.
Okay.
And you know me in that number.
Right, yeah.
I loved that song.
There's a correlation there.
Yeah. For all those, I have the number 27 Roman numerals tattooed on my neck. Maybe we'll get to why later. Some other day. So Hollow Heart, after coming off of Worlds Apart album and then the single 27, I expected another symphonic, sweepy melodies, this sonic boom of this like wall of sound that they always got.
Yeah.
And instead I get a wall of sound, but fucking heavy.
Yeah, man.
Heavy jugs. I get assaulted by the singer. And the female vocals is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
No piano. None of the symphonicness that made them stick out earlier. And it almost makes me sad as a fan of that because I'm like, I wanted that. I didn't expect this. And I'm like, oh, it kind of sounds a little generic. But the more I listen to it,
the more it sticks out, right?
Dude, yes. Yeah. It starts sticking out because I'm like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, it's their brand, their flavor on this.
It's their take.
Their take on this like oversaturated market of this just jugular-tastic metalcore. And it's so fucking good.
It is, man. Didn't you feel while you were listening to it? Do you remember, and for all you viewers, listeners at home, do you remember that JBL commercial where the guy puts in a little a CD or a tape deck, sits in his living room, and the speakers just blast his face, and the couch is moving and shit like that? That's how I felt when I first heard the 808 or whatever that
Uh-huh.
really big. I was like,
When it starts in the
I was
beginning.
like, holy shit, this is going to be a good song, bro. And it was amazing. It didn't let me down one
Those
bit,
vocals
man.
had to surprise you.
Yeah, dude, because I've heard the band before. I've heard a couple of the songs.
Bro, and I recommended
They
to you
weren't
Worlds
bad.
Apart.
Yeah. So I kind of knew, well, I thought I knew what I was going into, but man, no, I had no idea. When I first, as soon as I heard it, I had to tell you, and you had already, I just had to
Yeah,
share
I
it.
already know.
But yeah, man, it was amazing, dude.
So that's why that is my wild card again, representing Australia.
Bro,
this whole episode.
That's a good fucking wild card. I'll give you that. That's a really
I
good
had
wild
to.
card.
I was thinking of this or something else, but I was like, maybe that something else will be brought on next episode.
Yeah.
So then now that we got all the heavy shit, all the crazy shit, all the Australians out the fucking way, let's bring it back to America.
I'm sorry. Let's bring it back home, man. 1776. Let's do it.
We say au revoir to Australia. Wait.
Auf Wiedersehen. We're going international, man. We gotta learn all these things.
I said au revoir, but wait, that's French.
Yeah, that's not even. Well, goodbye. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
I don't know, man. I'm the typical American that I don't know.
All right, bro. Peace out.
So now we're gonna our album review today is Chun by Chun, the self-titled, and I don't know why the band did that, or like their fourth album calling it Chun.
Yeah.
But those of you who don't know, it's this, I believe, all Mexican American California skater dudes. They are an instrumental jam rock band.
Yeah.
Super mellow, super fucking crazy talented on the guitar, but not to give it away, not to give way for the drummer. The drummer is fucking tastic.
Yeah, man.
And because I've seen them live, I think 3 or 4 times now, including Denver and here in South Florida, that drummer brings it. And talking about elevating the band, elevating, the singer, the drummer elevates the guitars.
Absolutely.
Where they stick out or they don't in certain sections for him, but he drives it home every fucking song.
Absolutely. And going back to our last week's episode, this was one of the songs from this album,
Pitch Dark.
Yeah,
that was your
melody at the moment. And I said something similar to what you just mentioned, Kevin, that the drummer, in order to be in this band and to really complement everything that they're doing, you have to have the drummer that they have. Maybe you can get away with kind of phoning it in and having a couple generic beats and, no big deal. But again, when we're talking and when we're rating these songs, we're looking at it from a holistic point of view and just ignoring all bullshit. Everything else is noise. Let's see what you have as a unit, and then really evaluate it together. And when you see that and you see the amazing guitar work that's being done, you appreciate it. But then you see the drumming or you hear the drumming and you appreciate everything even more. Exactly. It all comes together. And I hate constantly drawing the comparison to Chon and Polyphia, but there's not a lot of people out there in this vibe, So
Covet.
Oh yeah, and then they're doing their own. What's her name?
But there's actually a lot of other ones, but a lot of them are Japanese, surprisingly.
That's because that's like a thing.
Covet,
it's like easy listening.
Ichikami? No, Ichimaki.
Yeah, the 3 chicks.
I believe so.
I saw them live when I saw Polyphia.
And then there's another one.
There's a few out there, and some have vocals, which
There's also Floral. Floral sounds more like Chun.
Yeah.
But like between Chun and Covet, I would say there's Floral where it's just like right smack in the middle where it's that like summery surfer vibe of Chun.
Yeah.
Mixed with that flowery Asian influence of like Covet.
Covet. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of the lady's name, the lead guitarist of Covet. Do you remember her name?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right. I'm drawing a blank.
Something Young. Oh my god.
Yvette Young. Yeah. She's super, super cool.
Yeah.
And very talented. Very talented. But the reason why I bring it back to Polyphia a lot of times when I'm talking about Chun is because they're kind of similar and they're both the best at what they do, even though it's the same kind of area. But one thing that both of them have, aside from amazing guitar work, is amazing drum work.
Yeah.
And you see the importance of it, and it's probably attributed to their success because if you have a very bland type of, to me, I've always said, you as a drummer, Kevin, you would know that the drumming is really a very important part of the foundation of a song.
Right,
You know?
and
So
sometimes
you have
it
to
could
keep
be.
that up.
Sometimes it can be only the foundation.
Right.
So if you just keep the beat, you could do that, and that's fine too.
Exactly.
And let the guitar stick out on their own.
Right.
But to flow with the guitar,
No, man.
and especially in an instrumental band,
exactly.
that's
It's another
incredible, man.
another part of the song,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it so much better. But props up to these dudes. I expected no less, man. I have a bar pretty high up for them, so that's my thing.
So my bad thing,
Uh-huh.
I had to listen to the album as much as I loved it. I kept comparing it to Homie
Yeah,
because I love that fucking album.
that's a good album.
That's where Chun finally embraced that again, that vibe that they always brought since fucking Woohoo and shit like that.
Yeah.
That they brought of that summery spring surfer sound. I don't want to call it like weed head music because they are more talented and technical.
Yeah, they're
than
way,
just
they're
to
way
just
over that
smoke
genre.
a bong
Yeah,
and sit down and enjoy it.
You can't compare
You
that.
could do that, but then you're not
giving them
hearing
justice.
Exactly. You're not giving them justice.
You're being very blind to the talent they really have to
Right.
offer, man.
Right.
But you know what? Now that you're mentioning their...
But hold on. So,
go ahead.
So then I kept comparing it to that album because I felt like that album, Homie, was like their poppier one. That's the most accessible one. If I were to go to the street and tell someone, hey, have you ever heard Chun? And they haven't, I will show them
It's a
Water
good,
Slide.
Yeah.
I'll show them anything from Homie. Hell,
Yeah.
the titular song, Homie, I'll show them that. What's the other one? The one that
I like the one with vocals, not Nehu.
Yeah, Nehu.
I like
I'll show
that
them
one.
that.
Yeah.
I'll show them that. And I play that one all the time when I go to the pool or the beach or
It's
whatever.
amazing. It's amazing.
It's awesome. So then this new album, the self-titled one, I had to kind of like, okay, I need to get rid of that interpretation or that obsession or love that I have for Homie. I'm like, okay, I need to listen to this album as its own thing. And it's how you and I have always talked about any other albums. I hear flourishes of the Woohoo, the Sun. Damn it, the one after that.
Oh, shit.
I hear flourishes of the previous works.
Right.
Where this one is like Homie, but less poppy, less fun. They're still having fun, but it's more like, hey, we're matured.
Yeah.
We've matured to a point of like, we want to showcase our musicianship and our talents. But not, a solo here, a solo there, a solo here. No, like they really bring the music and it sounds more cohesive.
Right.
Whereas in like in previous works, there was more solo oriented, or in Homie, it was more pop-esque, more accessible. This, again, it's still accessible because you could show anyone Peace or Pitch Dark.
Yeah,
they're gonna fucking love it.
They'll love it.
My favorite one, I have to give it to, is Rosewood?
Yeah, Rosewood.
Because of course, obviously, it's the most drum oriented.
Okay.
It's the most drum oriented. So to me, the beginning with the guitar is really cool. Just like for some reason, a lot of the songs start like acoustic, or some like cool guitar riff.
Yeah,
and then it just literally almost no transitions. Feels like a dive into Chun-esque waters.
Yeah,
but
very easy.
Rosewood, it feels like the drumming is changing like every other minute.
And I like that.
I love that.
I like that. I think
love that because I love the almost jazz-oriented drumming.
Yeah. Keep us, as listeners, I like to be kept on our toes.
Did you listen to it similarly to how I did? I kept comparing it to Homie?
No? See, and I'm glad that I didn't, because...
So you went into it, okay, I'm going to think of this as a fun thing.
And I always try to do it just to give it justice, and especially with this type of music that's instrumental, it's hard not to. It's hard not to relate it back to the work that they previously did, because I hate to say this, but there's only really so much you can do, before you start kind of looking back at everything you've done before and kind of maybe putting an old twist on it, start making it sound different.
I mean, it's hard. It sounds ignorant to say, but it's especially with instrumental.
It's hard.
It's hard to differentiate those albums.
Exactly. So, yeah, I did hear bits and pieces of not only Homie, but their other previous work too. Like, I got it. I got the Chun vibe. But
the one that you could easily do that with is Animals as Leaders.
Oh, dude.
Like, you hear any song and you know what album it's from.
Yeah.
If they play something new, you know what album is influencing that song.
Absolutely. And those guys, they're way, way advanced, man.
They're on another level.
They're leaders.
Yeah.
Leaders of animals that are musicians.
They've essentially carved out a subgenre unto itself.
Yeah. And Both of them, Juan Carl, I think his name is Carlos or something, and
The bassist is Javier.
Javier. No,
or is that
you
the
know, it's
drummer?
Javier.
Oh, yeah, Javier Reyes.
Javier Reyes and
Tosin Abasi.
and Tosin Abasi. These dudes are pioneers into just regular solo instrumental amazing work.
Yeah.
You know, they really paved the way, and even though
It's funny how when they do solo stuff, it sounds jazzier.
it does. And look at what we're doing now. And I mean, just Animals as Leaders came out when, like in 2010, probably maybe around that time.
Maybe before.
And we're talking about them now when we're having a conversation with Chun.
You're right.
You know, like, but you see the two things, and these are two completely ends of the same spectrum. But man, it's just the idea that we're talking about them in the same sentence is it's nice to me. It makes me feel like very, very homey. You know,
I legitimately don't believe that. I legitimately do believe that without Animals as Leaders, there would have not been a carved out space for these bands
I
like
think,
Chun, Palif,
yeah,
and even a fan base.
yeah.
I don't think Chun would have garnered such a fan base if it weren't for Animals as Leaders to get this like attractive attention to the scene.
Exactly. And I think you know, not only with Chun, but you see it with a lot of bands that are releasing like for example Protest the Hero 2 years ago I think was their latest title or whatever. They released not only the regular album but also an instrumental.
Yeah.
And then you see Mandroid Eagle Star, which they added the singer from Coheed and Cambria to 2 albums. They didn't have to, and they also released one with him and then instrumental.
Yeah.
And you see Intervals, you know, instrumental. So there was I think Animals as Leaders paved the way, but I think there was an unknown need, an unknown animal to feed for these fans that wanted that. You know, these fans that were overly technical.
Because okay, what was happening in like 2014 and on, bands were getting more technical.
Yeah,
because shit was getting cookie cutter, oversaturated.
It was super basic.
And for you and I, being fans for as long as we have, we hungered for that technicality
because it really drives it home.
So as heavy as like Miss Yoga, or as instrumental and musically talented as like Animals Leaves, or as even as melodic as Protest the Hero or Dance Gavin Dance, even.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, came out with instrumental versions of their songs.
That's true. That's very true.
Which is cool, but to the point is, guys like us, fans like us, hungered for not only more technicality, but we wanted it showcased to more.
Yeah,
we want to hear.
We don't want to hide. We don't want to know that it's hidden behind some vocals that we honestly don't really give a shit about.
Yeah,
you know, like it used to mean a thing. Some artists still do a really good job at it, but I don't want to hear kill switch. I don't want to hear. Don't give me the same bridge, chorus, pre-chorus. You know, other bridge and then
verse,
outro.
chorus, voice, bridge.
It's annoying because I know what's coming.
Right.
And you can do it right and maybe throw a little curveball here and there. But I want it to be a roller coaster and experience. If I put on your album, I want to be just like all over the place and be happy. And going back to like just bringing this train around, I think Chun does a good job at that. To your point, Kevin, I try to not listen to Homie because I've listened to that album a long time, and my fiance loves it. Because, like you mentioned, it's great poolside, skateboarding, outdoors, this type of music. It's amazing, and it's good to not think about anything. Just leave it in the back, work to it, whatever. But I try, and I really try my hardest not to listen to that album, so I can go into this one. You know, that way.
I haven't heard it since.
Yeah,
I think maybe like one day this year of like at the pool, or whatever.
Right. But that way I can really take it in. And while there are similarities, because of course, you know, it's hard to break some habits. Like for example, the song "If." What differentiates this album, in my opinion, for their previous albums, is the way that they're able to implement the hooks and that almost like an instrumental chorus line, like a catch. You know?
Yeah, it feels like a motif that they repeat throughout.
Exactly, and they do it. I think they're doing it more in this album. At least that's my ear. I'm catching it more in more songs. Like Rosewood has it.
I love
it. I love that one. The new one, what's it called? The hit?
The Pitch
Dark. Pitch Dark has it, so you can kind of identify, you know, the name of it. Now, they are victims to their own success in their own kind of bubble because this is what they do. So it's hard to really differentiate songs when, you know, a lot of the songs are going to have the same style, the same flow, the same tuning. and especially the same vibe from the same players.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to make them different, and that's where I think Chun does a good job because they rise above that and try to make it as different as possible.
Uh-huh.
Now,
they try to showcase different aspects that what makes Chun Chun.
Exactly. Now, is it successful for the most part?
Yeah.
Does it have its flaws? Yeah. That of, it's hard to differentiate songs.
Yeah.
And they did come out with a relatively long album, like
a lot of tracks
on it, which is kind of rare for a band of this type of
especially instrumental.
Yeah, so I think that, Kevin, I think we might have stumbled onto something. I think that might be one of the reasons why it was a hard type of album to digest and not relate back to their previous stuff. I personally, as a fan, maybe I would have wanted to see an EP of like 7 songs that were, the same style, but...
Well, that wouldn't even be an EP. An EP is less than like 6 songs.
Right, so make it
5.
Make it like
7 or 8
songs.
An LP. An LP of 7 or 8 songs. Basically this.
Exactly.
And tighter songs. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, I'm listening to Pedal now, and
I think that was the first single.
Yeah.
And it was great.
So
that Pedal the first one we hear with acoustic.
Right. So Pedal has that vibe of like it stays in your head. And I think if they would have produced a couple more songs along those lines and make it shorter, a couple of songs and you'll be good to go. They are artists. I think maybe they have some pressure from their record label to put more songs out. I don't know. But I don't like seeing that, to be honest. I think it's important to stay away from the sun and not burn too bright.
Yeah.
If you release a lot of your material, you're likely to fall vulnerable to that, just that, because you're going to run out of material.
Like fizzling out, basically.
You don't want to do that.
Right, because you and I are the same in the sense of like we're both fans of like more killer, less filler.
Absolutely. I like quality and not quantity. Yeah. So if you give me 3 good songs, I'm going to love those 3 songs and talk about you for a very long time. Yeah. Now, if you give me 6, 17, 18 songs and 2 are good, you're gonna be drowning out in the drone of those 17 songs, and I might not even want to play the album.
Yeah,
because
you might
kills it.
You might only revisit 3 songs.
Exactly. So but that's just food for thought. That's my hot take on it.
No, Kevin, and I legitimately I 100% agree with everything you said, because I was coming in and out with everything you said. I 100% agree, and it's my take of it was less accessible than let's say like Homie. Yeah. But that's neither here or there because it's still a great standalone album. I mean, we're a metal podcast reviewing an instrumental jam rock band's self-titled.
Right.
That's
so
crazy.
That says a lot about
and we both were like, since last week, you and I were like, we're reviewing this.
Yeah, we were really excited, and I'm glad that we were excited because this was a really great album.
It was
and I'm sure a lot of you get this a lot. We get it a lot too. Of people just saying, "How could you listen to this music? It's just constant screaming that you're crazy. You must worship the devil or something." Like, whatever, all that other stupid traditional bullshit that you hear for listening to metal.
Americans.
Yeah, right. And it's all misunderstood. It's all horseshit. But when you listen to Chun, you can introduce Chun to people that aren't necessarily into this kind of metal, and I want to choose my words very carefully. I don't want to say that Chun is a gateway into what is metal or, technical progressive rock or anything like that. It could be, just like Periphery or has been for some, just like Tesseract has been for others. It could be. But for folks that aren't necessarily used to how guitars sound and that harmonization of instruments coming together.
Right, aren't music savvy.
Aren't music savvy. They want a little bit of jazz with their rock and roll or whatever. This is a great band to help kick off what could be a great friendship based on mutual love for metal.
Right, and it's because I want to call it basically it's the accessible corner. That is the metal square.
Yeah, absolutely. I
or
agree.
pentagram, whatever.
Yeah, whatever works. But I agree 1,000%. I think that's good. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we loved it. I don't think we have any much else to say about.
No, I think we covered it. I mean, to be honest, this is as much as we could talk about Chun. They're a great band, and they're good at what they do. But that's what
are we thinking of reviewing next week? If it is North Lane Alien,
well, if it is, I think that'd be a really exciting episode. So if we can do that,
if not, it'll be one of our wild cards for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Make Them Suffer was amazing. So
No, and I already have some other picks that I
Yeah.
can't wait to talk about. So again, guys, we were Metal to the Core. Send us your unsigned music to metal to the core podcast at gmail.com. Make sure, please give me the files and let me know what song is okay for us to play. And rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts,
YouTube.
We on YouTube now.
That's right. Big
I was
news.
excited as hell about that. Find us on YouTube now. Subscribe there. Hit us a like. Comment us. Tell us how much we suck, or or how much we love Australians.
That's right. How much we love Australians, and we're also going to try to get Instagram in soon, so be on the lookout for that.
Hey.
We'll release the information on that shortly. So that's it for me, Kevin.
Later, guys. Stay metal.
Stay metal.